What's up, Aberrant family? My name's Anthony, and in this episode, we're going to break ground on our 1970 Chevy C20 project. The first thing that we're going to be looking to do with this project is mock up the new powertrain that we're going to be running. From the factory, the truck came with a small block Chevy 350 and a turbo 350 trans, and we're going to be swapping that out for a 5.3 liter LS and a 4L60. To make sure that later on down in the project that we don't run into any complications, we're going to start by pulling that old powertrain out, mocking the new stuff up, make sure we don't have any issues with things like shifting linkage or wiring harness for the new LS engine. Make sure that our throttle cable, we're going to run a drive-by cable system instead of the drive-by wire. We want to make sure all that works before we go tearing everything apart and wind up having to do some modifications or fabrication later on down the line. So with that being said, let's jump into this project and let's kick this off. One of our goals with this truck is to try to retain as many of the factory body panels as we can. Fortunately, some years ago, the truck was in a bit of an accident and the fenders and door had to be replaced as a result, and I believe that's where some of the damage in the grille comes from as well. But even though those panels are not factory original on this truck, the rest of the cab, the hood, and the bumper are all original. So we'll be looking to get those all stripped down, cleaned up, and repaired in preparation for the body work we'll be doing down the road. Now that we've got the whole front end torn apart, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to see about removing the hood and the fenders off of this thing. That way we have clear and easy access to prep the motor for coming out and getting ready to put in that mock-up of the 5.3 liter. And with a little help from my wife, we made short work of getting the hood out of the way, and then it was on to trying to raise the truck up with the airbags so I could start working on removing the fenders and the fender wells. Now, most of the hardware that you're going to encounter taking the fenders and the wheel wells out of the truck are all 1/2-inch fasteners. There's a couple that fall out of that range, but most of them are either 5/8 or 9/16. Most of the hardware for the wheel well was actually already removed, as the wheel wells had been pulled out when the airbags were put in, and since the truck was not ready for the streets, it was only temporarily reinstalled for the move from Missouri back to California. Now, this fender has 3 bolts that are located at the back of the fender. One is down below where I'm currently lying, and the other 2 are up at the top underneath the windshield cowl. To get to those, you'll have to pull 2 bolts out of the outer edge of the cowl, and then there's a couple of screws that run along the front edge that'll have to be removed. And then you'll have access to the 2 9/16 bolts at the top of the fender. Once the fender was out of the way, there was a small brace on the wheel well that had to be taken off, and then the wheel well came out and it was time to move to the passenger side. On this side of the truck, I actually found it was quite a bit easier to get the wheel well out of the truck prior to removing the fender, which was kind of nice because then I was able to deflate the airbags and be able to reach things a lot easier. All right, everybody, we've got the sheet metal off the front end of the truck now, and we're at the point that we're ready to go ahead and start draining fluids out of this thing. Unfortunately, today's Sunday and we've got work and school and stuff tomorrow, so the fluids are going to have to wait a little while. We're going to pack everything up and get the parts and the tools all put away and prepare for our week that we've got coming. I'd like to take a minute and say thank you so much for being here as we break ground on this project. This is something very near and dear to me, and I'm super excited about it, and I'm super excited that you're here with us. That being said, please click that subscribe button and that notification bell. That way you can stay a part of the journey with us and you don't wind up missing what we've got coming up over the next couple weeks. Also, if you enjoy this video, please give us a thumbs up and drop us a comment and tell us what you're excited about with where we're going with this truck. I'd love to hear from you and what you think about it. Also, if you'd like to support us, please share our video and check out our shop that we've got at aberrantgarage.com. We've got some pretty cool swag over there, and we've got some new designs coming up in the next couple weeks as we commemorate this truck through our t-shirts, our sweatshirts and stuff. Guys, again, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for being here, and we look forward to seeing you again soon.